So, Coach, your thoughts on the Vaquero's Performance Center being built?
First off, it's we're excited. It's finally out in the open. We've been having our meetings and getting involved in all the detail planning and architecture of everything. So we've known about it. We're excited to get it out there, especially about to hit the road recruiting in the next few weeks. And it's really had an impact with some of the guys we're looking at in high school student athletes and coaches across the state with the release this morning. So extremely excited. But again, overall, just shows the vision of our university, our administration, their commitment to excellence to really make this place the best it can be. So we're excited. Again, it's not just you've seen it, not just football, but every other sport is getting new facilities and brand new stuff. So just again reemphasizes the vision and commitment to excellence of our AD and president and our administration.
Okay, Ray, go ahead.
Coach, good afternoon. Ray Silva from South Texas Border Sports.
Yes,
Just to have a part of your coaching staff already aligned, with you and going over the list of recruits, what do you feel is that next step for you guys as a program to keep checking off those boxes before your first set of practices begin? And as a program, what kind of a vision does this continue to allow you to grow?
Well, the next phase for us is spring recruiting, and we'll be on the road. We get to be on the road April 15th or May 31st. So we've got our guys in house this week, lining out our schedule, looking at our prospect lists already for the class of 24 and even for the class of 2025. But we've got our plans to be out 6 straight weeks on the road. 2 of those weeks in the Rio Grande Valley, making sure we hit every school there twice and really doing a good job evaluating close to home. But that's going to be the next phase, is building that recruiting roster. We'll finalize our staff at the end of the season, and then we'll have an opportunity to start really honing in on that signing class of 2024.
And the last question I do have for you, when you were building up seeing these renderings, did you take any ideas from other prospective campuses that you have previously worked for? And what were kind of the ideas that you wanted to see for the program as it starts getting the ball rolling?
The big thing, and we're still doing a lot of we're still doing work as far as the inside. A lot of the work on the structure and stuff was done before we got here, but a lot of these meetings we're having right now is really the fine details inside the building: the locker room, the weight room, the training room, meeting rooms, etc., offices. Obviously, I'm out in Florida right now, going to spend 3 days here with Tom Herman and the staff at Florida Atlantic, but at the same time looking at their facilities. But you look at the college athletics right now, the big thing we want to do is make sure we give our student athletes the best, and you have to. I mean, and that's the name of the game in recruiting right now. And you got to have nice stuff, and you got to have new stuff, and that's where student athletes want to go. And that's where, as we're looking in the details, that's where we want to make it the best, is their daily life. And football stadiums and stadiums are great, but for us, a football stadium, that's 5 days out of the year. So it's their daily life of the number one, the academic center, the weight room, the training room, the locker rooms, the practice facilities, the thing they're going to use every single day, and then also get into dining and housing and things like that. And that's going to be, to me, a big piece of recruiting exceptional student athletes is making those the daily life for them is best it can be, and comparable or better than anyone else around.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Brian?
Hey, Coach. So you guys are, really literally kind of laying the foundation for this program there with the construction of the Vaquero Performance Center. So just your thoughts on just being a part of this thing, and really the transformation of and the creation of UTRGV Football, and not only just the football program, but the transformation of all the other athletic programs that are undergoing improvements and renovations to their facilities as well.
It's it's kind of surreal now as you look and you start seeing signs up, and pretty soon that area out past the baseball field is going to be leveled down, and there's going to be dirt moving around there. But it's really a cool process to be a part of something on the ground level, knowing that, you know, at some point it's going to be huge, it's going to be big, it's going to be you know, that it's going to be so different in the years, and obviously adding football, but the entire university, the entire Rio Grande Valley, the landscape is going to change over the next few years because of everything going on the university. But it's awesome to be a part of, you know, have a chance to give some ideas, but really just to be a small piece of this thing on the ground floor. Having done it before, it's really pretty cool.
And then last thing for me, Coach. So obviously, as you mentioned, the kids will be spending, the student athletes will be spending a lot of time there in the facility. So how important is that on the recruiting trail to sell these kids on what this program is going to look like as you build it from the ground up, and coming in there for that 2024 practice year where it sounds like it'll be just the practice fields, and then leading up to 2025 when the completion of the facility will be done. So what has that process been like, kind of getting guys to and showing guys what you guys are building here in the Rio Grande Valley?
Yeah, well, now we're excited because now we can. You know, it's kind of been kept a secret till it was released. So now we can start showing it and sending it out and putting graphics together. And at some point we bring them on campus, you know, we'll have the ability to, you know, show them exactly where it is and see the construction going on. And that was, you know, being on the ground floor of UTSA, we had the same pictures, but when we brought kids on campus, there was nothing being built. There was nothing being done for several years. And those guys that came through and graduated in the entire first class never had anything like this. So I think that's where we're ahead of that game from the schedule, from doing it back then. And, you know, to be able to bring these guys in and knowing they're going to have these facilities when they start playing games in 2025, it's going to be, to me, an advantage in recruiting.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Coach, you talked about how you guys are going to be hitting the road here, talking to recruits, and you talked about when you were at UTSA, you could bring them in, but there was no construction as far as what they were doing back then. At what point can you start bringing guys in, or will you bring guys in to show them like the work that's being done as they try to make their decisions as far as where they go to play collegiate football?
Yeah, you know, rule-wise, you can start bringing them in the fall. So it'll be towards the end of the fall, probably December, January. You know, by that time, we should have some construction going on the practice fields and some other stuff. But that's when we'll have those official visits at that time for that signing class in February, and possibly some in December. But it'll be later this year. So we're excited to get this ball rolling and start seeing some dirt moving.
And then obviously you have many connections with high school football scene here in Texas. Just what's been the feedback from coaches, players out there outside of the Valley, from what you've heard as far as their thoughts on the creation of football down here in the Valley?
It's all been exciting, but today was huge because you don't know how many. I got off this plane and I had hundreds of texts because I don't think people still realize the level of football and the level of, you know, the athletic programs are going to be at UTRGV. When they saw those renderings and they saw the facilities, it was a big wow factor for them. Got hit up by a lot of recruits today too that are excited because they didn't realize that. You know, they look at that and they see the same as Houston, UTSA, and the schools around here. So they're really pumped, and but a lot of excitement around the state from coaches and student athletes today.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Coach, obviously exciting time for you guys. Now that I mean, this is something that you've known about, but now that it's out there and all that, I know you've touched on, you know, some of the feedback that you've gotten already, but one of the things we asked Chase is about kind of the wish list as you're building this thing. Is there anything that didn't make it into the master plan of this that you wish you had, or did all the wants that Coach Bush laid out get put on in this performance center?
As of right now, everything's still in the plans. You know, some of that stuff as we get going. We've already had the conversation. I said, you know, if it gets down to budget, you got to cut anything. Cut the coach's stuff. Cut our locker room. Cut our offices. Do not cut anything related to our student athletes, because that's going to be huge, and that's what we want to make sure we do the best to not cut any corners on their piece. But been excited, being able to add some things, and not just football operations is going to be housed in that facility, but excited to make sure we're adding stuff that every sport can use, even out of the practice facilities, and whether it's the running hill and things that other sports could be able to use, the turf on the field. So excited, definitely for us, being housed in that building, but excited for all the sports and what it's going to add for them as well.
Is there anything in particular that you're particularly enjoying, or not enjoying, but are excited that you'll have, like something that maybe is a little rare around facilities like this, that you're happy that got put into this?
Probably the big one that we added was the running hill. And I made a mistake. Last time we built the stadium at Seguin High School, and I started seeing all that dirt being moved, it hit me to use that dirt and build a running hill for the athletes, but they had already contracted the dirt out. So we made sure that we mentioned that coming in, and we got that in the plans, that all sports can be able to use that for strength and conditioning training year round. But really, again, coming in and having ideas, being the places we've been, really want to make this comparable to FBS schools and facilities, and to come in with the ideas, and our administration didn't blink, didn't flinch. They know they have the same vision, and they want this thing to be the best. So we're excited. We've got weight room, planning out the weight room involved. We got locker room. Everything's kind of in the detailed planning phases of the type of furniture and lockers and all that type of stuff. So that's the exciting part, is being able to see how good we can make this thing.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
The Performance Center, do you think it's on par or comparable to other D1 training facilities?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it's going to be, to me, comparable to a lot of Group of 5 schools. When you take FCS out of the conversation, we're talking UTSA and places like that we've been around, and they have lighted practice fields and some things those schools don't, and running hills and weight room. The size and the amount of stuff we're going to put in our weight room is really going to be an advantage for us.